Boku no Hero, Episode 9. My first opinion on this episode is it was kind of boring. Last week I was really hyped for it. I thought we were going to have a really good fight, and the fight was not that interesting. And when you're kind of hyped for a fight and you get a ton of backstory on kind of a minor character, it's pretty boring in my opinion. But that being said, there are some merits to the video that I think are worth analyzing. So I think it's important to realize just how strong Eraser is in this. So with Eraser's ability to take away any quirk, any opponent they fight is going to be at a major disadvantage, and he could really take away a really strong quirk. So I think it was really smart of Batgum and Kirishima to save him. If Eraser had taken, he had to fight those two, I think it would have been an easy fight for him because he could just erase the shield and the guy's really strong punches. So what we have to see in the future is him make more of an impact with his quirk. He's going to have to take away the quirk and help defeat people even stronger than those two and help his team out even more. So I think Eraser is being set up in the future to fight a really strong opponent. I really like the battlefield. It was kind of in like this dark hole, so it really made them feel like really alone and isolated with the enemy. And that really puts on like a fear of terror, so I think that was good for Kirishima and how his attitude was, that the battlefield kind of reflected the fear. So like I said, I think it was kind of boring, all of Kirishima's backstory, but I think it does have its place. So I think what it mainly shows is that Kirishima is just a normal person. He feels fear like a normal person. He has an average quirk. You know, his classmates, like Bakugo, they don't really feel fear. They have strong quirks. So he's at UA with all these soon-to-be incredible heroes, and he's just an average person. So I think that's important to realize. So I think because he's just a normal person, it's even more respectable and admirable that he's overcoming all his fears and he's fighting these real villains, and he's overcoming them and his fears. You know, someone like Bakugo who doesn't feel any fear, you think, oh, that's just him, but Kirishima has to work through his fear, so then you can respect the process and his overall outcome. So I think the most important part of the show is when Kirishima jumps in front of Batgum to protect him. Kirishima is protecting a pro hero. He didn't have to do that. In the hierarchy, the pro hero should be protecting him. He's just still an intern, still a student. But Kirishima jumps in front of him and risks his life. So I think we can call this pure sacrifice, because Kirishima is risking his life for someone else for nothing in return. And I think that's probably the hallmark of a hero. So we see Kirishima go from a student to taking the action of a true hero. So from his flashback, we see him too scared to do anything when the two girls are being questioned by the villain, presumably. And he was too scared to do anything, and now he's putting his life on the line to protect a pro hero. So we see his progression from he can't do anything to he's taken the ultimate sacrifice. And I think this is also reflected with the spear and the shield comparison. I think at first glance, Kirishima should definitely be called the spear and Batgum should be called the shield, but it kind of gets inverted. Batgum becomes the spear and Kirishima becomes the shield. Now Kirishima is the shield of a pro hero, so I think now we see Kirishima take the next step to become a pro hero. So my final thoughts on this episode after analyzing it. My first impression was it was boring, and I still would have liked to see a better fight. But I think overall, when you look deep, the character progression is good and it is meaningful. I just hope half the episode for the next one isn't a flashback. I hope it's actually a good fight and it progresses the story more.